Ready? All right, a little bit of big sigh Oda there. I'm here with Mickey Abraham. Mickey drove up from Romp. I can't believe you made it into the. I can't believe you came.
I'm here, man.
From Florida.
I'm here in this room.
In the room. It's big. It's bigger than it looks on TV, isn't it?
Huge.
But not much. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit, and this is the thing. Anybody that knows me knows I love the game of basketball, and I'm from Peoria, Illinois, and the most successful basketball player ever to come out of Peoria, Illinois, played with the Warriors, won 3 championships, and that's Sean Livingston. And I love Sean Livingston because of his story about how he got hurt and how he came back, and then he really used his mind to become know the limitations of his body and become a championship basketball player. And they call him the master of the mid-range. And so I'm going to say about you, you are the master of the mid-tempo.
Oh, man.
And you know, a lot of people ask, you know, how do you play faster? How do you play faster? And
I just say I don't.
Well, the thing about it is like, there's a, if we took like a musician's value hierarchy, like to me, like the foundation of the whole thing is like tone. And people used to say the 3 T's: tone, timing, taste. You know, and then so I feel like tempo is like, it's not as high on the hierarchy as people make it to be. And I feel like, you know, we had a jam last night with some friends. Danny Watkins came over, my dad came over. We had a great jam, and I'm not sure we ever played a song over 110 beats a minute in 2 hours. And I think that's normal. So what do you think about tempo? What do you think about what I just said? Do you think you agree with this?
I agree. I think style is based on limitations.
Okay.
And I used to try to play really fast.
Okay.
And then when I started concentrating more on timing and tone and taste, speed kind of took a back seat because I was so more concerned about the tone.
Right.
And I was one of those people that couldn't do super 150, 160.
On acoustic guitar, who are your favorite tone people?
Oh my gosh, my favorite player is a guy from St. Augustine named Gabe Valla.
Okay.
You ever heard of Gabe?
No.
Andy, I've got to share with you Gabe Valla. Oh my gosh.
Send it my way.
He's the guy that really turned me on to tone back like in the late 90s.
Okay.
Heard him play and I've never heard. It was kind of before there was an exposure to YouTube and Instagram where you had to like be in the same room with someone to understand what tone was.
Right. And Peoria, anybody from here knows it's Bob. It was Bob Applegate, and Bob had an amazing sound and understood how to make a guitar sound, and that was it here. And then on the records, for me, it was Tony Rice. It was Ron Block. You mentioned Pat Metheny earlier. Like the album Beyond the Missouri Sky was really big as far as like hearing what an acoustic guitar could sound like.
Absolutely.
And Ron Block, Kenny Smith, David Greer.
Oh my gosh. You just mentioned the tone masters.
It's like the monsters, the tone monsters.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I came up when Alison Krauss was really popular, and so when we heard like the Every Time You Say Goodbye album with like, you know, Adam Steffi and that sound, and that was a really big deal, and so you were really trying to emulate those warm sounds.
I know a lot of you hear the bands out there and they're playing a zillion miles an hour, so we get students always saying, I want to learn to pick faster, or trying to get faster. I can't get this fiddle tune past a certain tempo. And as the flat picking teacher, I'm always like, slow down, you know, like I'd much rather hear this. Than, which one of those sounds better?
Which one of this sounds better? And I think a lot of times you got to remember too who your audience is, and usually your audience is not guitar players. And the other thing, your audience is usually not, even if they are guitar players, they're not as good as you are, or they'd have their own gig. Like I don't the better guitar players don't come to my show. I go to their show, you know. And so you're really playing for whoever your audience is. They want to hear good music. They're not worried about like how fast it is. But when you played Dixie Hoedown just then, and you slowed it down. You did something. You did something different too, though. You swung it.
Oh. Although I probably would play that with less of a bounce if I went back to it.
Okay. I had a friend of mine, Keith Yoder, he's a great teacher. He said one time, I was in a jam session with him, and he kind of like leads the show, you know. He's got in a helpful and understanding way, and he's like, he knows that like there's good players here, there's people that are beginners here, and how are we gonna all play together? And in bluegrass, you can. That song has 3 or 4 chords in it. We can all play together. It doesn't matter. I mean, listen, I've never met Billy Strings. Billy Strings is one of the most amazing guitar players. But if Billy Strings and I were here together, we would pick a tune together. And it would be cool, and it would be slower than he plays on stage, because I would make sure it is, because I would kick it off. And then,
Right.
And then it would be cool, you know? And, but Keith said, why don't you kick that song off slow, and then let this guy over here, he can play the craziest break he wants on it. Now that just satisfied everybody. Because now the guy playing it slow can play it slow. The guy here that wants to do something crazy, he can play a crazy slow break. He'll have fun doing that. So I just think there's ways. I like listening to fast flat picking too.
Some people, their comfort zone is really, my buddy Drew, like his comfort zone is
higher.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets more creative and better, like you pump up the tempo and it's like he's on it, man.
That's crazy, man. Not me. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm in the middle. I can play faster on mandolin because you only have to play one note at a time. Because on mandolin you can get away with this for some reason.
I think on mandolin I have a little bit less of anxiety with playing fast in a jam, because you can kind of get back to the bridge and kind of play some double stops and kind of differently than I play the guitar.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, let's pick one here. Let's just let's take Big Scioto around the horn a couple times.
Mid-tempo.
Mid-tempo, masters of mid, and let's see what we do. That's fun. Good day.